Hi, I'm Jacob,
I'm Michael.
and today we're going to be discussing Badfinger's Lost Inside Your Love single. And this was recorded at the end of 78 and was released in early 79 to promote the Airwaves album. This was the first single off the album, and it did not chart. We have two different versions of the single. The first one is the radio-friendly version, which DJs received and had a mono and a stereo version of the same song, Lost Inside Your Love, so we'll talk about the different mixes there. The main single, Lost Inside Your Love, with the B-side, Come Down Hard. Let's start by just this new rebirth of Badfinger that happened in 79.
Even though Pete Ham was obviously not going to be with them, it was quite an emotional experience to see them again together.
Yeah, and what a lead-off single to pick. This is Tom Evans' first single with the group since Maybe Tomorrow. So it's interesting that they picked this song 10 years later, and again, a ballad from him specifically, because he had quite a rock voice.
Personally think it was a real noble effort and quite a return to songwriting form that you hadn't really seen in the latter part of Badfinger. Joey's guitar work in it, in a solo in the middle, which I don't think was in the demo that Tom sent him, really lifts up the song as well, in my opinion. Together they were strong and they were back. But a beautiful, beautiful ballad by Tommy, and he had kind of returned.
Yeah, you can almost hear the uppicking from Joey in the chorus when he's hitting those chords high up and everything there. I think if there was any criticism for the song, maybe it's slightly too sugar-coated, but it's a ballad, so I mean, that's kind of fair game.
Perhaps some of the Airwaves production in general.
And I love the ending. I feel like this is a hallmark pop single. It does almost, I don't think the Beatles invented this, but the repeat 3 times and end with the falsetto kind of ending. It's very satisfying.
You know, Tommy's voice, I mean, always great, just up that a whole octave and just a strong ending. Yeah, he returned with this one.
So we flip it over, and the B-side is Come Down Hard with Joey Molland. I think his voice is on fire on this record. I think this is like Joey's voice in its prime, and overall, maybe the whole Airwaves era. This is the Airwaves era at its best. Just the engine of the whole band was starting there, and the harmonies that Tom's doing, and the screaming and everything. It's just got so much energy. The way this thing is mixed in stereo is incredible. I love the separation of the guitars, and the riff is just so dirty, and it's such a banger each time it comes in after the vocals. Fills in every verse, every line of every verse, I should say. And the only relief, because it's just an assault, the only relief is kind of in the, I don't know if you'd call it like the bridge, right? The drums go a little bit ska there, which maybe was a bit ahead of its time, the kind of offbeat thing. Otherwise, it's just right in the pocket, hitting every note pretty hard there.
It's a great change. It comes really out of nowhere. I mean, he's hitting a tradition, the rock kind of thing. Then that's melodic. That's a little melodic, and that's Joey can do as well.
And the solos, I think, are very well done, very well suited for the song. And it works so well with the crescendo, because the only time he leans into, the title of the song, Come Down Hard, it's right when the solo hits, and if you call that the chorus, it really only happens twice, and it happens right into these very powerful solos. I always got chills as a kid when I would hear the Tom Evans screams and all of his little kind of vocal nuances he was
Superb, actually, and that's another return to form, a little bit of well, of course, the Joey rocker, and then a little bit of the Rock of Ages Tom voice that's there and here and there coming through.
Last call out, I'll just say on Lost Inside Your Love. So we also listened to the radio version, so the only difference being there's a mono version on here. It sounds a little bit different, I think, just due to the fact that it's in mono. The lead guitar work sounds a little more in the back behind the piano and vocals. So that might be of interest to fans, but overall stereo version is superior, and that's what they signed off on. So overall, how would we rate Lost Inside Your Love, Come Down Hard out of 10? So I didn't think of a number before. Sure, I'll go first. I'll give you time to think. I'm biased because I know the next song is the single that I think of from the album. So it's hard to really hear this as the comeback single from our Badfinger boys here. If I just heard the song on the radio, I think I have to say 6 out of 10. It's a good ballad. It's catchy. It stays in your head. It's not really breaking any new ground, and it's still missing a little bit of the Badfinger edge to it, a little bit of the melodicism. I think this was pre-written by Tom before he even brought it in. Like you mentioned, Joey did some of the guitar work, but it doesn't feel like the collaborative band effort that I think they were capable of and which they did on later songs. So 6 out of 10 for me.
I guess it doesn't look good when you agree, but 5 seems a little low for Lost Inside Your Love. Maybe with the Dreamer that exists on the album and other things, maybe a little 7 means a little high. I mean, I guess I'll just be picky and say 6.5.
And that was not the last single from the album, so we'll be back with that soon.